Hi everybody, welcome to Rooster Crow Farms. This is Trish. I was sitting here this morning and drinking my coffee and looking at my cans of tomato sauce and juice that I have canned over the past couple of days. And it made me think about tomatoes. This is the first year that I have actually, had a lot of tomatoes that I could use and process and do whatever. And I always had this goal of having just tons of tomatoes and doing all this stuff to it. And I've heard and I've read about, you've just got to have a lot of tomatoes to do what you want to do. Well, I'm just here to tell you, you need a lot of tomatoes because I have put, and I haven't counted how many plants I have out there. I need to do that. But I have picked at least 60 pounds of tomatoes in the past 3 or 4 weeks. So the past month, I guess. And with that 60 pounds of tomatoes, I have made a minimal amount of canning stuff that I thought I was gonna have a lot more. I haven't mastered any of the recipes, any of the stuff that I've gotten. It's either too runny or I haven't filled it all the way to the top. It's a process. I understand all that. But in general, I only have a handful. I probably just put up 4 or 5 quarts last night. Oh, I think it was 4 quarts. No, 5. It was 5, sorry. 5 quarts of tomatoes out of my 20 pounds of tomatoes. I just blanched them, skinned them, and cut them in half, and then shoved them down into the quart jar. That was for 20 pounds of tomatoes. So 20 pounds of tomatoes, I canned me 6 quarts. This doesn't seem like a lot. And then the other day, I had 20 pounds of tomatoes, and I probably canned 7 pint jars of tomato sauce. It's supposed to be tomato sauce, but it's really runny. And I think it's just because I didn't cook it down enough, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I've also made salsa, and I've ate, fresh tomatoes. And there is probably a slew more out there that I'm gonna get, but it's a lot of work. I was up till 10:30 last night, which is way past my bedtime, processing tomatoes. Just the whole canning process is a lot. It's almost discouraging. It is kind of discouraging a little bit. And then the next thing is my cucumbers. So I've already probably put up several pints of bread and butter pickles. I have a whole bowl full of sliced pickles that I'm gonna dill. So I wrote down how many pounds of pickles that I've gotten so far. I'm not quite sure how it is. And if you can see behind me, my rose zucchini. They are pretty much all too big. So my plan with them is to shred them and freeze them. So as far as putting stuff up as of this time, it's August 1st today. We have, like I said, I made tomato sauce. I've made whole tomatoes. Oh, I forgot to say too, I've frozen several gallons of tomatoes. I have frozen some squash, sliced squash. I've breaded some green tomatoes. However, I am not gonna bread them next year ever with white cornmeal because it sucks, just saying. And then I breaded some okra and froze it. So I've done bread and butter pickles, tomatoes, whole tomato sauce, salsa, and my freezing of my battered stuff. So that's pretty much, and then I made a thing of zucchini bread. Of course, I fried my zucchini. I have oodles and oodles of these little yellow pear tomatoes, and I have made a salsa out of them, but it kind of looks like snot, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's pretty good. But that's just hard to eat. And I don't know what to do with all those yellow tomatoes. And I did buy me a food processor and a food emulsionator, or whatever that thing is called, to do that for my sauces and such. I did pick my cantaloupe, and it does appear to be ripe, and it is very not sweet though. It is kind of bitter, sort of. It's not very sweet, so I'm guessing it probably wasn't quite ripe. I mean, it was soft and everything, but definitely did not have the sweetness that I love my cantaloupe to be. So I was kind of disappointed in my cantaloupe, but I have several more out there that I'm going to get here probably in the next week or two, probably. So it's tiresome this time of year, because I've got to work and we're going, it's summer, you know, doing and all that, vacationing before school gets in and doing all we can with the kids before school comes in, and then trying to process all this stuff. And then boom, before you know it's going to be fall, and I'm going to be whining because I don't have fresh produce. However, I'm tired. And I think too, some of my problem is my kitchen is super, super tiny and very unorganized. Now this past year we did have a pantry put in, we made a pantry out of an old bathroom, but I haven't really utilized it. I just feel like I've been so busy that I haven't got in there and organized it the way I want to organize it. And my kitchen is so tiny that it's just hard. You like move and you've made a mess in there. So that's very difficult. Although again, not to be discouraged, this is the first year that I have decided to process and do all this stuff. So it is going to be a learning curve, and I'll eventually figure out the right way to get everything done. Hopefully. So anyways, I know I haven't posted a video in a little while, so I just wanted to kind of sit here and do a little chat video about processing your food and all that you have. Another thing that I'd talk about is my cayenne. I have oodles of cayenne that I want to powder down and make my cayenne spice, but I don't have a dehydrator, and I guess I just need to put it in the oven on low temperature for like all day long and kind of dry it out and then somehow grind it into a powder. So I do have that. I have a lot of peppers that I need to really blanch and freeze. I've had to throw away a couple of bell peppers because I didn't get them in the refrigerator enough time and they got soft. I do have a whole rack full of herbs over there drying. I picked some basil, rosemary, some mint, thyme. I think there was something else. Oh, dill. So those are drying out currently on my little drying rack, and I'm gonna put those up for some herbs. Just kind of going along. I still have tomatoes growing out there. We have the corn needs to be picked. We're probably gonna do that in the next few days. My pumpkins survived the flood, so they are actually vining all over out there, so I'm hoping that they'll do well. And it is, like I said, we're going into the 1st of August, so we have all of August, I'm sure. I'm going to probably here in the next week or two, I'm going to get some of my root vegetables in the ground and get those started. So yeah, this is morning talk with Trish and all the things that are going in my brain and what I need to get done. And I thought I would just do a video this morning to kind of share with you guys what in the world is going on here at Rooster Crow Farms. Oh, my eggs, I'm getting about 12 to 16 eggs a day, so that's good. I'm starting to, give my eggs away to people because we eat them like they're going out of style, and there's no sense into not sharing my eggs. I have lots of green eggs, so my Easter eggers are laying tons of eggs. And so they're doing well. I did lose a chicken from old age. She passed away. I did not eat her. She held on for a while, though. I I thought she was dead several times, and she'd peek her head up at me, so I just couldn't. I had her for, I want to say, probably 6-7 years maybe. She was a Orpington, I think. Orange Orpington. Or yellow Orpington, or whatever they're called. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's the busy, like everything in my kitchen is food. I have yellow squash. Oh, also my little tomatoes. This took me like 20 minutes to pluck all these. Next year, I don't think I'm gonna plant as many. They're really good on salads, but and snacking on, that's pretty much all that I have kind of used them for. And I'm really the only one who eats those, so next year I don't need so many of those, although they're cool in the garden and pretty. I am getting beans too, So yes, we talked about tomatoes and all the things going on in the garden here at Rooster Crow Farms. I hope your gardens are doing great and wonderful, and you're enjoying them as you are kind of wishing for fall and for things to slow down in the back of your mind. I did dye my hair a little darker to try to kind of bring on the fall vibes, because I'm tired. And I really, compared to some gardens out there and people that do this all the time, it's amazing how much. Of course, it's probably like a fine old machine. They've done it for so long that it just goes with the flow. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful and great day. Maybe I will post a video here very soon in my garden and tell you all things that's going on out there and with my chickens. But just a little talk this morning all about canning. That is what I've been doing here at Rooster Crow Farms. Until I post another video, y'all have a great and wonderful day. Bye.